Hey, you really piss me off. Do you know that? Just what in the world do you think you're doing trying to marry my brother, you cow? You really need to learn your place and back off of him, got it?
I'm sorry, what? What is all of this about?
I heard the news from my mom. She told me that you and my brother were going to be getting married. Well, I'm not going to let him end up with a fatty like you. I know that you only care about yourself and you just want to use my brother. I won't let you get away with this.
I really have no idea what you're talking about at all, but we've already legally filed our marriage. Of course we're going to have a wedding. I don't get what the problem is.
I know that, but obviously it's the wedding that everyone is going to remember. And I am not going to let you get away with having that wedding.
You mean that you're going to try and stop your brother and I from getting married?
That's right. You two might be married on paper, but it's the wedding where you say your vows in front of everyone. And I am going to ruin that and spoil your marriage from then on. No, that's going to drive a wedge between you and finally break you two up. So don't think that I'm going to let you get away with what you're trying to pull here.
Well, I appreciate how upfront you're being to me with all of this. I'm afraid that won't do. And why would you even want to do this? As far as I know, your mom is really looking forward to us getting married.
Well, I'm not looking forward to it one bit. So there. And I know that if I can convince enough people to see things my way, that I can ruin your wedding like that.
Renee, I really think that you're being unreasonable here. I mean, come on.
No. The only unreasonable one around here is you. You really think that anyone is going to want to see someone like you get married? No one is even going to go to your stupid wedding. I can guarantee you that. There isn't anyone who will want to take the time to see you.
Renee, please, can't we just try and talk this out like adults? I mean, don't you think all the name-calling and ranting is just a little bit childish?
You think I care at all about what you like? I'll call you names I want to call you. Fat, fatty, fat pig. A person like you can't get married because only pretty people are allowed to get married. Which means that, of course, my brother in his tux will be fine. But he should be standing at the altar waiting for some fat cow like you to walk down the aisle. That will just be a waste of everyone's time and a huge waste of money.
I really don't understand what is making you act this way. I mean, I don't think that anyone else feels this way except you.
I am going to stop this from happening so that I don't have to suffer through the shame of being your sister-in-law. Ugh. Your wedding is going to blow up in your face. Don't think that just because you've gotten the legal bit out of the way that you're going to end up with my brother.
Brad. Hey there, Trish. I was just thinking about where we should do our wedding, and I really do like Green Acres as the location. What do you think? I feel like of all the places that we went to check out, it was the one with the best atmosphere and would just make for a really pretty scenery.
Wait, what? You really want to do Green Acres? But just earlier you were talking about doing a totally different venue, right? I mean, we've already paid the money to ask that other place to hold our dates for us, remember?
I know, but I was reviewing all of our options, and I really do think that Green Acres is going to be the place to do it. In fact, I had a friend tell me that Green Acres was probably the best spot we could find. And then, looking it over again, I thought they really had a point. Well, I can seriously see us getting married there.
Well, I guess I'm just surprised that you changed your mind about this so quickly is all. But I guess I'm not too strongly attached to either place.
Awesome. Perfect. Then Green Acres it is. I've actually already called ahead and signed a contract with Green Acres, so we're all good. Can you believe that we're going to be getting married in just 2 more months? This is crazy. Oh, would you mind calling the other place and canceling for us?
Hold on a second. Do you mean to tell me that you already signed with Green Acres to have our wedding there? And when did we say we're going to be getting married in 2 months? I thought we were still figuring out the dates.
Well, if we don't get married on the day that I arranged for, then the reservation just wouldn't work out.
Okay, but you shouldn't have just gone out and done that by yourself. I mean, we're going to be getting married. We should be choosing these things together.
No, it's fine. You have nothing to worry about at all. Besides, we still have 2 months and plenty of time to figure things out. And it's not like people are going to want to miss our wedding, so it's fine whatever day we choose to do it.
That's not the point that I'm trying to get at here, Brad. I just wish that you would have talked to me a bit more before doing this.
Well, it's already done now, so I don't really see the point in throwing a fit like this. Oh, just a heads up, we're going to be getting married in the morning. So we're not going to have any kind of reception either. And we're going to be getting married in a chapel, and then maybe we'll just go out somewhere and invite friends out. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to be getting there until the very last minute, so you'll have to get there early and set all this up. Sound good?
Now hold on for just 1 second. I thought we agreed that we didn't want to do this in a chapel. Not only that, but I thought that we wanted to have a big reception dinner. And just what do you mean you're going to be late? Late to the wedding? Late to the after party? What is going on here? Why am I having to do any of this by myself when we should be doing all of this together as husband and wife?
Right, well, I would be there to help with all of that, but... Well, the thing is that I just have some errands that I'll have to run that day, and I can't do them any other day.
You're going to be running errands on our wedding day. Are you serious? If that's the case, let's get married on another day. It sounds like you're going to be too busy with your errands to help me out. So I think we should just reschedule the whole thing.
Oh, no, we can't do that. I already set everything up. It has to be on that day. It has to be in the morning, just like I arranged it.
Well, can you at least give me a good reason for why it has to go exactly that way when we agreed on something completely different?
Look, I really don't have the time to get into all of this with you right now, but it just has to be that way, okay? Besides, I've already signed the contract and everything. So if we tried to change things around now, it would cost a fee. And that would just make more trouble for everyone. Don't worry, I'm sure you can handle everything.
I really can't believe the nerve of you. I tried to warn you. Told you that you'd regret this, and you're still getting married? You really have some serious nerve, do you know that? You should have listened to me when you had the chance, Trish.
You know, Trish, I actually really can't take the blame on this one. I actually did try to, at the very least, put off the wedding, but it was actually Brad who arranged for all of this today. In fact, by the time he told me about it, he had already signed the contracts with the venue and everything, so there was nothing I could do.
Wait, what? You mean that it was my brother who picked this place out?
Exactly. But since he did it, hopefully you at least know that we're serious about getting married. I hope that you can enjoy the event at the very least.
Don't you think that you've gotten away with this? You really think that I'm just going to believe that my brother put all of this together? I just know that you probably forced him to do this, didn't you?
You really think that I forced him to have it so that we'd be getting married here today?
Just admit it! But you know what? There's still time for you to listen to what I have to say. You can still go home.
You really think that I'm going to leave my own wedding? I really don't think you know how weddings work.
Oh, don't you worry about that. We don't need you here at the wedding either. You see, I've already found Brad a new wife. So just leave already. I found a girl much more pretty than you. She'll make a much better wife for Brad than you ever would. So I'll let the wedding happen. Just not with you as the bride.
Oh, come on. You have got to be kidding me. You're really going to try and switch out the bride at the last second?
That's right. I told you that I wasn't going to let my brother end up with a nasty old cow like you. I tried to warn you, but you just wouldn't listen. But I'll have you know that I put a lot of planning into today. For hours and hours I thought about the best way that I'd be able to ruin your wedding. And then I finally figured it out. So I went and found a new wife for Brad to marry.
Wow, yeah, I can tell you really must have put a lot of thought into this. It's foolproof. Although, I have to say, I knew that you didn't approve of Brad and I getting married. But I never imagined you'd try something like this.
Well, that's what you get for underestimating me. I told you that I wasn't going to let a fatty like you marry my brother. And now I can give my brother the best wedding present of all. A much better wife than the one that he would have married. And trust me, I took a long, long time picking out the perfect woman for Brad to end up with. I just know that he's going to like her 1,000 times better than you.
You have got to be kidding me. I really can't believe that you would do this. What's the matter with you?
Oh, don't be sad just because I've outsmarted you. The truth is that you never stood a chance to begin with. But I just know that Brad is going to be so happy. He'll be overjoyed when he finally sees who it is that I've chosen to be his new wife. Not to mention that I'm getting 2 birds with 1 stone.
Wow. Well, I guess I'll give you an A+ for effort, but this is just stupid. I mean, do you really think that something like this could ever work? That anyone would go along with this?
What are you talking about? What part of this is crazy, huh? Do you have any idea how hard I worked picking out the perfect wife for Brad? I used his picture to create a dating profile for him and talked to dozens of women looking for the perfect match. Mwah! Was very, very strict with who I swiped on, too.
Oh, hold on a second. You're telling me that you found this person who is going to replace me as Brad's wife in a dating app?
Of course I did! There's all kinds of people on there, and I knew that with enough time, I'd find the right person. And I guess I shouldn't have expected anything less for a profile with his face on it. He got all kinds of matches. There were actually so many women who I couldn't even talk to. But finally, I found one who stood out. She was beautiful and went to a good school. I just know that Brad is going to want to marry her right away.
Yeah, I really don't know if that is how this is all going to go down.
Ha! That's what a loser like you would say. But you're just jealous because you realize that I've come up with the perfect plan and that nothing is going to stop me now. So why don't you just give up on this whole thing and go home already, huh? My brother doesn't need you around anymore. Besides, I called ahead to this venue and already told him that there would be a change to the bride's name.
I'm sorry, you what? Did you really do that?
Oh, that's right. I got up first thing in the morning to call them and tell them that there had been a mistake in the preparations. So it was never your wedding to begin with. Don't you get it? I've already won. Now just turn around and go home because Brad is marrying someone else.
Okay, then, fine. In fact, you know that I thank you for doing this. If this is what it's going to take for me to be able to get out of this wedding, then, well, it's unorthodox, but I'll take it.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? You're not supposed to be thanking me for kicking you out of your own wedding.
I'm sure that you thought I'd be breaking down into tears and crying, begging you not to do this. But the fact of the matter is that even before we were going to have this wedding, I was already thinking of leaving Brad. I just wasn't sure how I was going to be able to get out of doing this wedding. But now you've given me the perfect excuse.
No, wait. This doesn't make any sense at all. Why in the world would you want to try and leave my brother? I mean, he's perfect. He's the one that's way too good for you. Did you hit your head or something like that? You should be crushed. Devastated right now.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what you did want to happen when I found out about this plan of yours. But the fact of the matter is that for how perfect your brother pretends to be, it's all just an act. In fact, I bet you didn't know that your brother was already trying to marry 2 women in one day. The whole reason that we're having ours in the morning is so that he can run off and get married again this evening. I'd never want anything to do with that piece of trash again.
What are you talking about? My brother isn't going to be married twice in one day. Don't be ridiculous. What are you even talking about?
If you want to find out about this, you should go and ask Brad yourself. I'm going to be going home just like you told me. But once again, Thank you so much for getting me out of this.
I don't get it. How did you know? How did you know that I was going to be having a second wedding in the afternoon? I hadn't told anyone that, you know. There's no way that you should know this was going to happen.
I guess you just underestimate the power of women's intuition. I mean, really. Did you think that after all the last-minute decisions about our wedding date and venue that I wouldn't guess anything? You even said that you were going to be late to whatever kind of gathering we were supposed to be having afterwards. Well, after that, I waited until you were asleep one night and I went through your phone.
Hold on a second. You what? Why in the world would you do that?
To find exactly what I was looking for. All of the proof that you were cheating on me. You met some girl on an app and she didn't care if she was going to be your second wife. You told me that a friend had told you that Green Acres would be the perfect place for our wedding, but it was this other woman's suggestion.
Wait, no. You don't understand. There's been some kind of mistake here.
There's no mistake at all, and you know it. The moment I figured out that you were cheating on me, I knew I wanted a divorce. And to think that we had just gotten ourselves legally married. Our parents and friends were looking forward to celebrating with us. I really wasn't sure about how I was going to get out of this until your sister found a replacement for me.
Wait, hold on. You know that you're the woman that I love the most, right? If I'm going to lose you, then I don't want a second marriage. This woman said that if we didn't get married, that she would tell you about our affair. You see? She was blackmailing me into this second marriage.
Don't you dare and try to pretend to be a victim in this. You're a cheater and a liar, and that's it. And now you're getting what you deserve.
Oh, please don't say those kind of things. Look, you know we can still get through this.
I was putting off our divorce hoping that something would happen to change my mind. But now I just know that I do want a divorce. And you better believe that I'm going to be suing you for the affair that you've had behind my back.
Wait, hold on. You can't be serious about this, right? I mean, you're really going to want to get a divorce? But we're going to be getting married soon.
Oh, I won't be getting married to you. In fact, it seems like you have two choices now. You can either marry this woman in the afternoon or take the woman that your sister brought to replace me. At this point, though, I'm just glad to know that I'm not one of your choices. But anyways, it seems to me like you've got some big decisions to make.
Trish, you have to help me. Please get back here right now. My brother is in serious trouble. The other woman that Brad was seeing and the woman that I chose to replace you are fighting right now. Oh, it's getting really bad. They're kicking and screaming and tearing each other's dresses to shreds. Ooh, it's horrible.
Wow. Well, that sounds like quite the scene. I'm almost sad to miss it.
But that's not all. It turns out that the woman that I found was actually an ex-girlfriend of Renee. And apparently Brad was still choosing who he wanted to marry.
And then the woman that he had been cheating on me with just showed up to fight this other woman?
That's right. I guess neither one of them want to give up on my brother, and so now they're just tearing each other apart. But now my brother is saying that he wants to get back together with you. He says he wants to give you one more chance, so please come back.
Wow. Well, all of that sounds like a hot mess, but also one that I have no real stake in.
But you have to come back. You're married to Brad. I know he said you're going to try and leave him, but you're still his wife.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that at all. But I am going to follow through on that divorce. And then I'm going to sue your brother and the woman he was cheating with. Then I'm going to forget all about Brad and this woman, and especially about you.
You can't do that! You have to come back here and put a stop to all of this! Things are bad here. My parents are wondering where you are.
Well, then it sounds to me like you have some explaining to do, don't you? But like I said, this isn't my problem anymore. And I refuse to intervene. Good luck with all that. Or not. I don't really care either way. After that, I started getting desperate texts from Brad for me to help him, but I ignored them all. Finally, I just decided to block him. Instead, I hired a lawyer to handle the divorce and make sure that Brad and his mistress paid for their affair. Having humiliated himself in front of his friends and family with the fiasco at the wedding, Brad had no one to turn to for help. He had no choice but to take out a loan to pay what he owed me. Not only that, but also had to pay the full price for both weddings. The last thing I heard about Brad was that in order to raise the money that he needed to clear his debt, he had gone to work on a fishing boat in Alaska, and no one has heard from him since. His parents reached out to me and apologized profusely for their children's behavior. They told me that they kicked Renee out and told her to find her own way in life. Obviously, that isn't how I would have liked my marriage to go at all. But I'm just glad that I was able to get out when I did and avoid getting in harm's way. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Isabella, Mom told me. I heard you decided to get married. Yes. Congratulations! I can't believe that you, adult girl, are getting married before me. I'm so surprised. Thank you. That's it? I reached out to you, but you're kind of cold. Maybe it's because you've done things in your life that have left you cold. What? What are you talking about? Did I do something? You've been making fun of me for a long time. Have I? I don't remember doing anything like that. You just called me dull, didn't you? Oh no, that's just a joke. I didn't mean to offend you. I've told you many times that I don't like that kind of thing. You're still as detailed as ever. If you worry about every little thing, your life won't be fun, will it? I think you don't care enough. How much trouble I've been put through. Do you have any idea about that? Trouble? I have no idea. You ran away from somewhere to my house at the end of last year too, didn't you? You stole your coworker's boyfriend, and then she found out and came to your house because of that. What? Was that my fault? Wasn't it the guy who cheated on her? You're both to blame. It's crazy to mess with the partner of someone you're close to in the first place. I remember when I was in high school, your boyfriend fell in love with me too. Maybe you've been holding on to your roots for a long time. I don't expect you. I know it's pointless for me to get upset. Oh, you mean you won't let me see your fiancé? Maybe you think I'll take him away from you again? I just don't want to invite trouble. You know, you say a lot of unnecessary things. I'm not interested in your fiancé. I mean, he works at a factory, right? I really laughed when I heard that. How can you marry someone who works in a factory uniform? You really need to fix that kind of thing. You're saying the same thing to everyone around you, aren't you? What's wrong with that? Nobody wants to work in a factory. Wouldn't you prefer an elite businessman or something? Don't think you're right. Besides, I think any profession is respectable. I believe factory workers can get married because of someone like you. The right person for the right job. I don't know, but I guess they're attracted to each other on the same level. Enough. Talking to you makes me sick. You don't have to say it like that. If you feel uncomfortable with it, doesn't that mean I've got a point? I believe no one likes their own fiancé to be disrespected. What? You're not disrespecting him. Enough. Stop talking. As your sister, I'll tell you one last thing. If you keep acting like that, you're really going to lose friends around you. I think you should start to think about yourself a little more objectively. Well, whatever you say, it's not good enough for me. You and I are in different positions, aren't we? A pretty woman can do whatever she wants. People are kind to me just because I'm pretty and beautiful. Okay, you're going to have a wedding, right? I don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of poor people, so I'm not going to the wedding. Fine. I'm planning to have just my family and close friends. I see. Well, I hope you don't regret getting married. Even if you have money problems in the future, don't rely on our parents, okay? Hey sis, I've got the invitation for the wedding. Oh, did you get it? Actually, I'm getting married too. It's going to be a gorgeous ceremony. So please dress up as much as you can. Don't embarrass me. Why? Why are you doing this? About what? It's my wedding day. It's the same day as the wedding I was planning. Huh? Was it? But I sent the wedding invitations to everybody first. If you sent the invitations to them afterwards, wouldn't they all be turned off? What kind of sister goes out of her way to put her own ceremony on top of her elder sister's wedding? You chose the same way to ruin my wedding, didn't you? I can't believe you're thinking like that. I really can't believe it. Do you enjoy doing this? What? I don't think it's fun or anything. I just did what I wanted to do. What's your problem? The groom's name. This guy was at the same college as you, right? Oh, you remember. He used to be a dull guy, so I didn't take him seriously before. But now he works for a big company. So I just took him out for dinner and suddenly he asked me to marry him. Didn't you say he was creepy? He came to our parents' house without a notice. He seemed a little insidious. Now he has better looks than before. Above all, I'm fine with it because he has money. If he has money, he can make himself look better as much as he wants. I see. But after college, he married someone who looked like you. Didn't you make fun of him? Yeah, he left his ex-wife shortly after he and I started seeing each other. He said he'd rather have me than his ex-wife. But are you okay with it? Do you really like him? Of course I do. I love the fact that he has money. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm asking if you sincerely want to marry him. Hey, you know what? There's a difference between someone who will be my boyfriend and someone who will be my husband. Marriage can't be built on love alone. Marrying someone who loves me, that makes me happy the most. Don't you feel sorry for his ex-wife or something? Because, I mean, even if it was only temporary, you were dating a married man, right? Huh? Why would I care about that? It's his fault for dumping her, isn't it? That's how unattractive she was. Didn't you have an affair once before and demanded alimony? And did you forget that mom and dad scolded you for that? They said there's no next time, right? That guy paid all the alimony, so I'm fine. Too bad. In the end, getting a man who is reliable is the right thing to do. So you really don't think any of it, do you? Oh, I got a call from my cousin that she's coming to the wedding. Isabella, I'm sorry. My parents and relatives decided to come to my wedding instead. Your wedding will be like a wake. Oh, why don't you change the date? There are still a few days left, so you won't have to pay any fee for the change. It's okay. We've always planned to have a small number of people. Besides, I'm not going to change the date since we picked our anniversary. Oh, really? You didn't have to do it on the same day. You just had to pick the same day, didn't you? It's just a coincidence. We're sisters, so maybe we're telepathic. I don't care about that. I won't have anything to do with you from now on. I don't want to have a relationship with you as a family member or as your sister. You're going to cut me off just because my wedding is on the same day as yours? I think it's also quite a thing to intentionally put a wedding on the date. And it's not the only reason. I can't stand your personality, sis. I've put up with it because we're family, but I can't take it anymore. Okay, well, I don't need you in my life. Do what you want. I've been accused of having plastic surgery because my ugly sister. I'm going to live as an only child from now on. You do that. It's easier for me to live that way. Bye. Good luck with your miserable poor wedding. You and your factory working husband are going to have a hard time for the rest of your lives. Isabella, how's the crappy wedding? Are you enjoying it? It hasn't started yet, but I think I'm going to enjoy it. You're just being tough like that, aren't you? What's the point of having a wedding when parents won't even be there? Why didn't you move the date? It's okay. I'm really happy. I'm really glad that everybody's celebrating with me. Who's everyone? The husband and his little family, and my parents and our friends. My parents? My parents are coming to my wedding. They didn't go there, did they? They haven't come yet, but I'm sure they'll be here soon. And the guests are going to keep coming. It's going to be a great day. Really? Why don't you ask the staff if the guests are coming? Huh? Why? Wait a minute. They said they need to talk to me now. Okay. Isabella, are you sure Mom and Dad are there? No one has come to my wedding yet. Yes. Everyone's having fun at my wedding. The ceremony hasn't started yet though. We're still in the middle of the pre-party. What? Why? Our parents and all the relatives, they replied to me that they would attend my wedding. Sis, did you really think they would celebrate with you like that? I'm getting married, remember? And with a rich guy at a fancy place. It would be weird if they didn't congratulate me. I sent the invitations first. Why should your wedding ceremony take priority over mine? It's the result of what you've been doing to them. Huh? When you meet people, you always talk down on them. You always look for faults in others and show off. Which part of such a person are they supposed to like? We're family, so likability is not relevant. You and your husband were having an affair at first, right? I didn't tell him to break up. He just left his wife on his own. Even if so, people around you and his ex-wife wouldn't see it that way. Your husband's ex-wife came to our parents' house a few days ago. She wants us to pay alimony. What? My husband said he already paid alimony. He didn't pay for it. Neither for you or for himself. What? What's going on? Your husband, by the way, he doesn't seem to have any money. No? His ex-wife told me that he lied about working for a famous company. The wedding expenses and the present for you. He had to borrow money to pay for everything. No way. Are you kidding me? Are you making this up on purpose because you can't stand that I'm happy? It's true. He lied to you because he wanted you to like him, didn't he? Why don't you ask him about that? That's not possible. He's already spent thousands on me, remember? Anyway, tell our parents to come to my wedding right now. If things continue as it is, none of the guests I've invited will show up. Please, tell them quickly. There's no time. Mom, Dad, and relatives, they won't attend your wedding. Oh, but they said they'll just send a wedding gift later because they feel sorry for you for canceling at the last minute. I don't understand. I want people more than money right now. You want me to have a wedding where only the bride's side of the table is empty? Sis, do you know how many times we've been charged alimony by the wife of a partner you had an affair with? This is the second time. As you can see, our parents are more than pissed off. If our parents won't celebrate with you, why would our relatives come? It's my wedding, you know. Canceling at the last minute is horrible. And my friends and co-workers aren't coming either. Did you do something? Are you trying to humiliate me because I arranged the wedding on the same date? Why would I do such a thing? I don't want anything to do with you. Oh, by the way, I heard from his ex-wife. I heard there's some kind of a victim group against you. What? You have been stealing boyfriends from your colleagues and your friends. You've been messing around with other people's boyfriends without any hesitation, haven't you? And you're always talking down on me. You have a lot of things that make people hate you. So what? Most of your coworkers and friends that you sent invitation to, they said they were going to ditch you. Women are scary at times like this. They take revenge at the worst possible moment. Are you sure none of them are coming? I don't know all the details, but I guess if they haven't shown up at your wedding, that's what it means. Hey, I can't have a ceremony like this. Your husband's guests are there, right? This is not the first time for him, and he left his wife, so my parents-in-laws aren't coming either. He's invited fewer people than I have. I see. Well, that's tough. I mean, wouldn't your wedding be the miserable one, sis? Hey, please, can you ask at least mom and dad to come to my wedding? If possible, would you please reach out to our relatives too? Why me? If you ask them, I'm sure they will listen to you, right? Please. There's no time left. We decided to get married, and this can't be happening. You brought this on yourself, didn't you? Even this marriage of yours. I decided to get married first. That's why you rushed to get married legally and arrange the ceremony, right? Are you really that condescending? I'm not doing that. I'm the oldest sister, so it was natural for me to get married first, wasn't it? But since you decided to get married on your own, why don't you stop competing with others? You're only making it harder for yourself. Why do I have to be told what to do by you, ugly dog? Don't tell me what to do. You've been living your life looking down on others like that. Isn't that what brought you here? That's why no one will celebrate for you. Isabella, I'm sorry that was out of line. I'll be careful from now on. It's too late for everything. I'm sorry. I'm begging you. Please let me have our parents come to my ceremony. After today's wedding, I really won't make you any trouble. I don't want to be bothered anymore. That's why I've cut you off. If you're really sorry, you can handle it yourself. Well, my wedding is about to start too. Goodbye, sis. Let's get married and be happy with each other. Good luck with your miserable wedding with your self-proclaimed rich husband. After that, my sister's wedding began, but only a few guests from her husband's side came. It seemed the ceremony started off in the worst possible situation, but there was no way my sister could stand the atmosphere. The wedding was eventually called off before the reception. Also, apart from her relatives, none of my sister's friends and acquaintances from her side came to her wedding. As I thought, someone who had been frustrated with my sister up until this point had laid the groundwork, and they were encouraging everyone to cancel in the last minute. Furthermore, as the ex-wife informed me, my sister's husband does not work for a famous company. He was an ordinary company employee and had borrowed thousands of dollars to marry my sister. When she found out, she immediately tried to divorce him. Her husband, who was pathologically in love with my sister, would never have agreed to it. They still don't seem to be getting a divorce yet. My parents are completely fed up with my sister's second affair. My sister has nowhere to go for help now, since she's cut off from the rest of the family. I don't know what will happen to my sister from now on. I think she lives a life not nearly as ideal as she has imagined, paying off her husband's debts, and there's also the issue of an alimony, which won't be resolved anytime soon. I want her to take a hard look at what she has done, and I want her to reflect on it. But honestly, I don't expect anything from my sister. So at the very least, as long as she doesn't bother us, I don't care what happens to her. Thanks to my sister's usual behavior, my parents celebrated our marriage. We were able to have our wedding ceremony with the blessing of everyone around us. My husband and I are enjoying our married life together. I had been frustrated and disgusted with my sister, but there was a part of us that spoiled her too, because we were family. But finally, I was able to sort out these feelings. So I'm going to stay away from my sister. From now on, I will take care of people who care about me and I will always remember to be thankful and build a happy home with my husband.